Episode 23. With Li Feiyu's business settled, Han Li personally sought out several skilled blacksmiths within the sect. He commissioned a set of short, sheathed swords in various styles from them, secretly requesting a few small modifications to each. He also commissioned a number of nameless components of uncertain purpose, along with several small, delicate iron bells, all to be forged as quickly as possible. For this, Han Li spent a considerable sum of silver. A few days later, Han Li collected his custom order from the blacksmith. Seeing the gleaming short sword and the small, restriction-sealed iron bell, he was thoroughly pleased. Satisfied, he praised the blacksmith's craftsmanship repeatedly. That very night, Han Li vanished without a trace from his quarters, leaving only a note on his bedside table.
Elder Mo, there's no need to get so worked up. I'm not trying to run away. It's just being in the same valley as you, the pressure is stifling. It's not conducive to cultivating the eternal spring arts. For this reason, I've decided to find a secluded spot on the mountain for secluded meditation. You can rest assured. I'll set the deadline at 4 months, and I'll be back to meet you right on time. Han Li.
Leaning back in his armchair, Dr. Mo held the note in his left hand, scrutinizing it closely, his face darkening with a stormy expression. On the table beside him lay another slip of paper, detailing the order list Han Li had recently given to the blacksmith. The paper in his hand crumbled into dust, scattering across the floor. He stood up, pacing a few steps around the room, his brow furrowed in thought. After pacing back and forth a few times, he came to a halt.
You little brat. I don't know what scheme you're cooking up, but whatever trick you're trying to pull, you won't slip out of my grasp. You're mine, I've decided.
With that, Dr. Mo spun around and strode to the window. He let out a low, sharp whistle. A small, nameless yellow bird flew in from outside, circled the room a few times, and landed on his shoulder. The little bird, once steady, affectionately rubbed its beak against his face, letting out a series of clear, cooing chirps.
There we go. I know you're hungry. Here's your favorite, the Oriole pills.
Seeing the bird, Dr. Mo's gloomy face broke into a faint smile, his gaze turning doting. He took a yellow birdseed pellet from his pocket and fed it to the little bird.
Go. Follow that man as you always have. The moment he leaves these mountains, fly back and report to me.
The little bird chirped happily as it gobbled up the food, fluttering around the room. After hearing his words, it circled once more, then flew out the window and vanished into the sky.
With my cloud-winged bird watching you, a creature said to outpace even a longbow's arrow. Let's see what tricks you can possibly pull. 4 months. I'll be waiting for that day. It looks like the plan is about to succeed. Anyone who dares stand in my way now, who dares hinder my plan, will die. If a god blocks my path, I'll slay the god. If a Buddha stands in my way, I'll kill the Buddha.
Suddenly, a young man's voice rang out in Dr. Mo's mind.
You're getting too cocky. This kid is sharp as a tack, not someone to be trifled with. Don't get so close to the finish line, only to have it all fall apart and let this kid get the better of you. You, Zitong, keep your nose out of my affairs. I don't need a lecture from you. If I succeed, you'll get your share of the benefits. But the cultivation technique you gave me seems to have some issues. Are you hoping I'll meet with some unfortunate accident?
How could it possibly be wrong? Didn't you already test it on animals? As for the one that died, that's just because your technique isn't polished yet. The one that died shouldn't affect your plan. It better be. It's a shame I can't practice more. A few more sessions, and I'd be much more confident. After he said this, the voice seemed to have learned its lesson from before and did not speak again, leaving Dr. Mo alone in his neurotic monologue. The atmosphere in the entire room felt particularly eerie. Meanwhile, Han Li was in an inconspicuous mountain gully, a place even more remote and hidden than where he had met with Li Feiyu.
The terrain here was long and narrow, pinched between two steep little peaks into a straight line.
Both ends of the gully were completely blocked by dense thickets, making passage impossible. The only way out was a single rope secretly dangling from the peak of the shorter mountain. A dense thicket of brambles grew here, covering most of the ground. Only a small clearing remained for Han Li to stand in. At the top of the gully, countless nameless vines were woven together, forming a natural green canopy. There was no need to worry about being discovered. Han Li placed his belongings under a massive boulder, then returned to the center of the clearing. He closed his eyes in thought, then opened them again, his expression turning resolute. I'll start with the most difficult technique, bone softening art. And so, Han Li began his journey of cultivation. He had no idea that a small yellow bird was perched on a branch not far away, watching him day and night. Seeing that he showed no intention of fleeing, it had thus far refrained from flying back to report to its master. Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, half of the 4 months had already passed. The mountain gully was now empty. Han Li, who had been there, was gone. Only the little yellow bird remained, unhurried and unbothered, calmly preening its feathers. It paid no mind to the disappearance of its surveillance target, as if it had tossed the mission to the winds. Suddenly, another gray bird darted through the green vines above and flew into the ditch grass. It circled a few times overhead before landing on a yellow stump at the edge of the clearing, apparently intending to rest. Just then, the little yellow bird tilted its head, casting a haughty glance at the gray bird. It wore a look of human-like mockery, as if it couldn't be bothered with the newcomer. The little gray bird stood on one leg, scanning its surroundings, until it finally spotted one of its own kind.
It spread its wings as if to fly over. Then, out of nowhere, a withered yellow hand descended from the sky and snatched the bewildered gray bird.
The sudden change terrified it. It struggled desperately, but it couldn't break free from the hand that held it. It was only then that the little bird realized the wooden stump beneath its feet had somehow transformed into a youth clad in yellow robes.
The boy had dark skin and an ordinary face, with thick eyebrows and large eyes. Aside from a certain clarity in his gaze, there was nothing else particularly striking about him.
The boy watched the little bird in his hand, struggling ceaselessly, with a smile on his face. Only when it was nearly exhausted did he finally let go. Go on, don't be so foolish next time. Look before you land. Freed at last, the little bird flapped its wings in a panic and flew straight out of the ditch without a backward glance. After watching the bird fly away, the young man stood there motionless. A long moment passed before he finally murmured to himself,
It seems my chi refining art and reverse deception technique have both reached a decent level. Next, I should start practicing the World Ender assassination skill. With that, Han Li moved, heading toward the newly built wooden hut nearby. As he passed the tree where the little yellow bird perched, he couldn't help but glance up at it.
Han Li had first noticed this peculiar little bird over half a month ago. It had been perched on a nearby branch ever since, watching him intently, as if it possessed a keen intelligence. From the very first moment he saw it, Han Li was captivated by its intelligence. He adored the little yellow bird. He tried to lure it away, but nothing worked, not coaxing, tempting, or even setting traps. Little bird, where did you come from? This is really tasty. Want some?